Led by Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar has arrived Kathmandu to attend the meeting of Nepal-India Joint Commission. Two major agreements are to be signed during the meeting, while several ministries are to furnish their critical proposals. These proposals include air route permit and revision of trade treaty. Meanwhile, 3 transmission lines are also to be jointly inaugurated by the foreign affairs ministers of the two countries. Good morning, I'm Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar arrives Kathmandu to attend the meeting of Nepal-India Joint Commission to hold high-level political talks as well. Nepal and India signing long-term energy trade agreement, doors opening for Nepal to export 10,000 megawatt electricity in the period of 10 years. Following 2 explosions killing nearly 100 people, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi says the Zionist regime will pay the price. Head of the Quds Force singles out America. And Kylian Mbappe stars for PSG as French Giants clinch their 12th Champions Trophy. See off Toulouse 2-0. Seventh meeting of the Nepal-India Joint Commission begins in Kathmandu today. Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar with the Indian delegation has arrived Kathmandu for the meeting. Minister for External Affairs of India S. Jaishankar, Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Quatra, Joint Secretary assigned with the responsibility of Nepal desk Anurag Srivastav, spokesperson of the ministry Arindam Bagchi, and officials responsible for border management under the ministry have arrived Nepal for the meeting of the Joint Commission. Before today's meeting, Jaishankar is holding talks with President Ramchandra Paudel at Sheetal Niwas and Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal at 12 noon at Balodhar. After the meeting, he is to meet Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa at 3:45 and CPN-UML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli at 4 p.m. 2 major agreements are to be signed during the meeting of Nepal-India Joint Commission. During the presence of foreign affairs ministers of both countries, agreement for the trade of 10,000 megawatt electricity in 10 years is to be signed. The agreement is based on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's declaration during Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal's India visit last year, where he said that India is to import 10,000 megawatt electricity in the coming 10 years from Nepal. The Indian Council of Ministers then made an official decision to import 10,000 megawatt electricity from Nepal. Another agreement is to be reached regarding expansion of budget of the high-impact community development project from 50 million to 240 million rupees. After the meeting, 3 132 kVA capacity transmission lines are to be jointly inaugurated by the two ministers. Ministry of Commerce and Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation are also making preparations to furnish their proposals to India. According to the Ministry of Commerce, efforts are to be made to form a joint secretary-level committee for review and amendment of the treaty. Efforts are also underway to impose tax on agricultural products imported from India. Nepal has also made preparations for proposals including removal of quota system imposed on Nepal's exports, removal of anti-dumping duty on jute among other products, and recognition of quality certification issued by each country. The Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation has made preparations to seek new air routes for Nepal entry through Vairava, Nepalganj and Mahendranagar. Nepal has also made preparations to propose for approval for direct flight to several Indian cities from Pokhara International Airport. It has been learnt that the ministry is also to propose flight permit for Indian cities to Buddha and Himalayan Airlines and Delhi flight for Nepal Airlines from Vairava and Pokhara. Prior to this, a meeting of joint secretaries of the Ministry of Energy of Nepal and India was held yesterday. Jaishankar is slated to return home tomorrow. Nepal and India are signing an agreement for the trade of 10,000 megawatt electricity today. As per the agreement of the energy secretaries of the two countries, Nepal will be able to export 10,000 megawatt electricity to India in the next 10 years. Prior to this, Nepal was able to export only 652 megawatt of electricity. The agreement is based on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's declaration when Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal visited India in the previous year, and where Modi said that India was to import 10,000 megawatt electricity in the coming decade. The Indian Council of Ministers had also made the decision in this regard. After the meeting, which is slated for today, 3 132 kVA capacity transmission lines are to be jointly inaugurated by the two ministers. These are Roxol Parwanipur, Kushaha, Kataya and Naitanwa Mainahia transmission lines. 4 ruling parties are holding talks regarding the share of seats of the National Assembly. Discussions between the parties on proceeding by including opposition CPN-UML during share of seats began at 9 a.m. at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Balothar. Despite talks among 4 major parties of the government regarding allocating National Assembly seats for main opposition UML, a consensus had earlier remained elusive. Today's meeting has been said that it is likely to reach a consensus. In yesterday's meeting of CPN Maoist Centers, Nepali Congress, Janata Samajwadi Party and CPN Unified Socialist held at the official residence of the Prime Minister in Balothar, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal had put forward the idea of proceeding by providing a seat to opposition CPN-UML. According to Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal, basic discussions were held on Dahal's proposal. The 4 parties are to hold internal discussions and seat for another round of talks. He added that today's meeting would decide on whether or not to allocate seat for UML at the National Assembly. Immediately after the meeting of the ruling coalition, opposition UML's chairperson KP Sharma Oli had reached Balothar. Talks were held between Prime Minister Dahal, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa and Oli about the upcoming National Assembly election. It has also been learnt that Oli had asked the Premier not to corner his party in the National Assembly polls slated for January 25. Election for the 19 seats at the National Assembly will be held on the 25th of January. Of the 20 seats going vacant on 3rd of March, 1 seat is under the quota for nomination. With the coalition parties together, UML may not win a single seat. However, with the objective of endorsing laws related to transitional justice on the basis of consensus, Prime Minister Dahal had initiated dialogues for allocating seats for CPN-UML. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what do you think of a detainee escaping from court premises? Your options are A, weakness on part of the police, B, security in question, and C, possibility of a nexus. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The government has prepared a draft bill to monitor the use of social media. Now, in this context, in our Public Voice segment, we've asked in several provinces what should be done and by whom to ensure the proper use of social media. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
सामाजिक सञ्जालले आफै नियमन एडिट गर्ने प्रचलन गर्ने र त्यसमा कानुन राज्यले निर्माण गर्ने र कानुनको कडाई रूपमा कार्यान्वयन गर्ने।
हामीले आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत डाटाहरु कुन राख्ने र कुन नराख्ने भन्ने कुरामा ज्ञान हुन पर्यो।
जस्तो पाए त्यस्तै सामाजिक सञ्जालहरु चलाउनु भएन।
सामाजिक सञ्जाल मर्यादित बनाउन चाहिँ सरकारले निगरानी राख्न पर्यो।
नकारात्मक असर नपर्ने गरी खालको भिडियो या स्टेटस हालौं।
गभर्नमेन्टले पनि स्ट्रिक्टली हेर्न पर्यो कुन साइड चाहिँ अथोरिटी दिने, कुन साइड चाहिँ अथोरिटी नदिने।
सरकारले नीति नियमलाई अलिकति कडा गर्नु पर्छ।
जनता आफैले पनि यो चाहिँ अलि मैले बढी गरेको हो कि अथवा मैले यस्तो कुरा लेख्न मिल्छ कि मिल्दैन भनेर रिथिंकिङ पनि गर्नु पर्यो।
एउटा छुट्टै खालको संयन्त्र नै गठन गरेर चाहिँ त्यसको अध्ययन गर्न सकियो भने पनि सामाजिक सञ्जालहरुमा आएका गतिविधिहरू निगरानी गर्न सकियो भने पनि कानुनी दायरामा ल्याउन सजिलो हुन्छ।
नेगेटिभ जो कुराहरू छन् ती चीजबाट मान्छे ब्याग हुन जरुरी छ।
जसले अश्लील चीजहरू र गैर जिम्मेवार चीजहरू अपलोड गर्छन् त्यसलाई चाहिँ सरकारले निगरानी गरेर चाहिँ कारबाहीको दायरामा ल्याउनु पर्छ।
सोशल मिडिया प्रयोगकर्ताहरू छन् उनीहरुमा चाहिँ बुझाउन सक्नुपर्ने आवश्यकता देखिन्छ। यसको लागि सरकारले क्याम्पेनै चलाउँदा पनि हुन्छ।
सरकारले छुट्टै नियम बनाउनु पर्छ सामाजिक सञ्जालसँग सम्बन्धित रहेर
दण्ड र सजायका कडा कानुन लिएर आउनु पर्छ। नागरिकहरूले अनुभूत हुने गरी कानुनको निर्माण गरिनुपर्छ।
नियन्त्रण गर्ने खालको चाहिँ कानुन निर्माण गरेर जाँदाखेरि सामाजिक सञ्जाल व्यवस्थित हुन्छ।
विभिन्न जनचेतनामूलक कार्यक्रमहरू गरेर यसको दुरुपयोग गर्नेहरूलाई नियम अनुसार कारबाही गर्ने।
जुन कुरो म लोड गर्छु त्यो कुरो संसारले हेर्छ, त्यसकारणले म सही कुरा र अरूलाई पनि काम लाग्ने खालको हुनुपर्छ भन्ने कुराले उ सचेत हुनुपर्छ।
Before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Jaishankar arrives Kathmandu to attend the meeting of Nepal-India Joint Commission to hold high-level political talks as well. Nepal and India signing long-term energy trade agreement. Doors opening for Nepal to export 10,000 megawatt electricity in the period of 10 years. Following two explosions killing nearly 100 people, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi says the Zionist regime will pay the price. Head of Quds Force singles out America. And Kylian Mbappe stars for PSG as the French Giants clinch their 12th Champions Trophy. Sea of Toulouse 2-0. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin is at 6 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.